Hey everyone, it's Will from Garage Built Athlete, and I am here today to give you my first impressions review of the Nike Metcon React Turbos. I've had these shoes for just over a month and I've worn them for various different garage gym and CrossFit activities, so I'm going to take you through what I think of the shoe, what the pros are, what the cons are, and it's over to you to decide whether you want to pick up a pair. Right, first up, let's take a look at the actual shoe itself. Now, I like all black trainers, black on black on black. The more black, the better for me, and these really tick a lot of boxes. They're pretty chiseled in their looks, they're not, following the normal trend of the Nanos and the Metcons. Currently, they do look a little bit more like lifters. If you've had a look at the Romoleo 4s and the Savaleos as well, they tend to look to me a little bit more like that, with a bit more of a functional fitness spin on them. You can see the design, it's pretty cool, and you've got the mesh upper which also follows all the way around the middle of the shoe underneath to where you've got this hard rubber, I'll spin around that way, you've got this hard rubber sole on the back which is very solid if you're lifting, and then your sticky rubber sole on the toe. In the middle of the shoe, you see it doesn't flex much there, but Nike have got a little surprise for us when it comes to that bit. Now, looks wise, cons, I would say the quality of putting together the shoe isn't that great. So I don't know if it was because I got them from Sports Direct or not, however, there's quite a lot of glue which is on the joins and on the seams. It just looked a little bit messy when I got them out of the box. That was the one thing which I noticed, which is a bit disappointing. There's glue in and around the toe and some other areas where they're joining the different materials together. But apart from that, looks wise, I like them. Look a bit like an AstroTurf boot to me. So how do they feel when they're on? Well, these shoes are light. A lot lighter than the Nano X Unknowns that I have, a lot lighter than the Nano 8s. They feel really light when you're in the air with them, compared to the Nano Unknowns, which feel big when you're moving through the air. However, when you land, I feel like you land and you're solid and stable. These don't feel big at all. These are really slim, really lightweight. They feel good when you're moving through the air, like for box jumps. And when you land, they do feel stable, not as solid as the other trainers that I use. However, they're really quite stable when you land. And one element which I believe is responsible for that is the insole. Now, the insole of this shoe, I'll just take it out there. Now taking that shoe out, the insole out, the shoe just completely folds up within itself. There's the actual strength in the structure of the middle of that shoe is all in this Nike React insole. And let me show you a bit of a close-up of what they've got here. So you can see this part of the insole is very solid, and that holds together the mid part of the shoe. Very, very clever from Nike to put that stability into the insole rather than the shoe itself. So what else do I like about them? Well, one thing I really like is the laces. They're short, which for me is really good. They're not flapping around, getting in the way, trying to move them, and just basically being an annoyance. They've made them shorter. They seem to lock in really well. They lock the foot in really well. The design sort of flows over the front of the foot. It looks like it comes off centre slightly, which is slightly different to some of the other shoes I've got. If you see right down the lace of the shoe there. I would say I have a slightly wider foot and was nervous about getting the Metcons because I've heard previous iterations of the Metcons and the React Turbos don't suit a wider toe box. However, what I found with these is they're absolutely fine. If you have wider feet like me and prefer the Nanos, They may take a little bit of getting used to, but once you've worn them in, these will feel pretty comfy. I've read reviews, I've watched reviews, a couple of my friends have these, and the rumours going around, which are substantial, is that they do not hold up well to rope climbs. And you can see the bottom of this shoe, you would think, is designed pretty well for gripping that rope all the way around. You've got these fins. Reminds me of the top of the old Adidas Predator football boots. Well, these get worn away and pretty much shredded fairly quickly on the rope climbs. If I compare them, Nano 8s, and you can see where the rope has worn away those grooves. Now if you were to wear away that on the Nike React, then it's going to wear down just to that mesh. So I've done a variety of different workouts now in the shoe, functional fitness, so CrossFit style workouts, powerlifting as well. I do prefer it for the CrossFit style workouts. Just generally, if I'm deadlifting, I don't like to have too much of a rise in the heel, so I prefer to have a flat shoe like a wrestling boot. Matflex Asics is really good for deadlifting. For squats though, they have been good. Bench, what do you need? You just stick your feet on the floor and push through. Absolutely, they'll do that, no problem. Also, it's not built up around the ankle, so there's got a bit of freedom of movement in that. It doesn't cut in around the ankle at all because you've got quite soft materials for the tongue and the upper here as well. Where I haven't found the shoe to be fantastic is the double unders. I found that actually the impact from the bottom of the shoe, because comparing it to something like the Nano Unknown, which is quite cushioned, feels better to be jumping and having that high impact movement, that repetitive impact from double unders felt a lot nicer in my old Nanos and my new Nanos compared to the Metcon Turbos. I was doing a workout where I had rounds of 20 double unders, and by the time I'd done the 20, I felt like actually the bottom of my foot didn't feel great. I was quite pleased to not have more than 20 double unders to do. I'm going to stick with them because I want to test that out. Maybe it was something else in the workout which is causing that issue for my feet. I'm going to continue to test them, but if tomorrow I had to do double unders, I wouldn't take these with me. I would put on my Nanos. Running. Let's talk about running. The fact that these are lightweight makes them good for running. You don't want a heavy shoe if you're out there pounding the pavement. The fact that I don't like running means that I avoid it at all costs, and I will gladly do a 200 or a 400 metre run over a 5k or a 10k. These shoes are going to be okay for those short distances. Again, they've got a nice light feel to them. Depending on where you strike the ground, if you're heel striking, this is not going to feel great. That solid heel is not something that I think it would be aspired to in a running shoe. But short distances, sure, they can take it. Shuttle runs, yeah, absolutely. But I'd hesitate to go out on a longer distance run than that. Other movements which I find have been really good for this shoe are box jumps, so through the air. Like I say, feel nice and light. Landing also, there's no problem with that whatsoever. They're not quite as solid when I do land, but moving through the air to get to that point is a lot more comfortable compared to the Nano. Anything squat related, so wall balls, thrusters, clusters, anything like that during a workout, these have been really good for. They feel almost like you can't feel them there. They don't feel like they're cumbersome, they don't feel like they're going to get in the way of anything. You don't really have to think about your feet. With the Nano Unknowns, there's a lot of laces going on, they feel a bit wider. I often have to have a conscious thought about my feet, whereas with the Metcons, because they're so lightweight and slim and compact, I'm not really having those thoughts. Doing burpees for a period did feel a little uncomfortable across the toe, as in the toe crease. I've done a few workouts with burpees in. Nothing, you know, nothing to not want to do them in again, but it's just on my mind as I was going down for a burpee that I didn't really like the feeling of how the toe crease impacted as I was getting into that bottom position. Downside to this shoe, due to this solid heel, if, like me, you are trying to get out of the house at 6 o'clock in the morning without waking anybody up and you have to walk over a hard floor, it's like walking in high heels in this thing. They're so loud, you have to tiptoe across because the soft rubber on the sticky rubber on the front doesn't create that sound, but these solid heels, you ain't getting out of the house without causing some disruption. Overall then, I do rate the Nike React Metcon Turbos, especially for your functional fitness. If you're looking for a gym shoe to go to the gym and lift weights in, yeah, okay, why not? You could do that in any pair of shoes. If you're looking for a CrossFit shoe, give these a go, but they're not, for me, going to work in every single workout, especially those rope climbs and double unders. But have something else as a backup for those. Hey, you can do legless rope climbs, but you can't do legless double unders, so maybe take them off if you don't like them. But overall, yeah, I do really like them. At £135 in Nike, they are more expensive than the Metcon 7s. They're one of the most expensive CrossFit shoes or functional fitness shoes that are currently available. I got these from Sports Direct, £105 for the all black. Did also manage to get a little discount on there, which I do like to get a sneaky little discount. But including delivery, you're looking at about £100. They were on sale through Nike, they got snapped up really, really quick. They're still quite a hot ticket item. They're coming out of different colours. The grey and black are really cool. They've got some really nice options in the women's colours and sizes. I think they only go up to about an 8.5, 9 though, so no good for me. I think they're really useful to have in the gym bag. I really like to be able to have that variety now with my training shoes, and yeah, the turbos are going to stay. So thanks everybody for watching. I hope you've enjoyed my first impressions review of the Nike Metcon React Turbos. If you have and you want to see more reviews like this, leave us a like, subscribe to the channel. You can find daily content over on Instagram and Facebook at Garage Built Athlete, and if you want to pick up some merch like this mint established hoodie, drop us a message, head over to www.garagebuiltathlete.com to support us. Thanks everybody, let's go.